Hello and welcome to this surrogacy pregnancy Q&A video. It's tea. You don't like tea. So I asked you guys over on Instagram and on my 30-week pregnancy update what you want to know about the pregnancy, and I've written down all your questions, and in this video I'll be answering them for you. I'll start with some of the basic stuff for those of you who haven't been following the channel so far. So someone asked, what number pregnancy is this? This is my first ever pregnancy. First pregnancy as a surrogate, which is reasonably rare. Most women have completed their families before they consider surrogacy, but I don't want my own kids, so surrogacy was the best way for me to experience pregnancy. So next is, what does it feel like to be pregnant? I mean, this is an impossible question to answer. It would be like asking a bloke what it feels like to have a pair of testicles. There's nothing to compare it to, you know. It's literally what it is. I have a human in my belly. Really hard to try and put it into words. It's, yeah, odd. I suppose like the constant companionship is quite cool. So the baby's kicking now, quite low down. So I know there's another heartbeat going on, which is kind of cool. It's a bit freaky. But yeah, it's really hard to just overall describe what it's like to be pregnant. And speaking of the baby kicks, quite a lot of people are interested to know what the baby kicks feel like. I've always taken it for granted, I suppose, because my mum was pregnant 6 times when I was a kid. I always used to have my head on her belly, feeling what it felt like from the outside. And so feeling it from the inside is very much what I expected. Sometimes I've compared it to a muscle twitch. So if you had like a little twitch going in your leg, that's what it feels like. But now the baby's getting bigger, the kicks are getting stronger. And yeah, they can be quite intense. A few people have asked if they hurt. They don't hurt on their own in general, unless he gets me in the ribs. But they are definitely getting more powerful. If I'm studying at a desk or the work surface and my belly's like pressed up against the worktop and he kicks the worktop, that hurts because the contact of my belly against the hard surface, but it's not directly the actual kick that hurts. Okay, the next one is, do I do anything to make the baby kick? That's a definite yes. He loves piano music, so classical piano music really definitely wakes him up and gets him kicking. Also laying down on my side. Usually if I lay on my left side, that will get him kicking as well. I think the baby's this side, so I wonder if by laying that way, I don't know, it seems to get him moving. And someone asked if anyone's felt the baby move. Yes, definitely. My mum, the baby's mum, my nan, my flatmate. I think my best friend just about managed to feel him when he first sort of started. But obviously coronavirus, social distancing, there's definitely not been that many people that have felt my belly. Does the bump get in the way? I mean, not really on the whole, because it's a slow growing process. You kind of get used to it, but I do forget sometimes and I'll be stood too close to something and swivel round and knock the bump. So yeah, it kind of does. And when I'm doing a fitness routine and squats and stuff like that, you gotta squat a bit wider at this stage. You've got to make room for the bump. Someone asked how my belly is so smooth. I mean, as opposed to what? Like being rough? I don't know. But I don't know. I moisturise twice a day. I use Burt's Bees. What's it called? Mama oil. It's like a lemon scented oil when I'm like fresh out of the shower. And before I go to bed, I use again Burt's Bees Mama. I've forgotten what it's called. I'll link it down below anyway because it's brilliant stuff. It's got like cocoa butter, shea butter, another butter, all the butter in the cream, and it really seems to be working. I was getting some stretch marks underneath my boob and it's clearing those up, so hopefully that will prevent stretch marks on my actual tummy. Does the skin stretching hurt? No, not at all. I think if I'd suddenly got nearly 8 months pregnant, then yeah, sure it would, but it's such a slow process that your body knows what it's doing and it stretches over a long period of time. Is the bump the size I expected? So I didn't really have any expectations because I know that every pregnancy is different, every woman is different, every baby is different. But my flatmate said that this is as big as she thought I was gonna get, and I've still got over a month. Yeah, I've got like 9.5 weeks left, so actually 2 months. Yeah, so it's kind of big, but yeah, I don't know, I was expecting it. I quite like it. It's a useful rest for a cup of tea. Is pregnancy what I expected? So, on the whole, yes, except for one quite big factor. I've been so much more tired than I thought I was going to be. My mum made it look really easy. I guess I was a kid, I wasn't really paying attention that closely. I'd never realised that she was much more tired when she was pregnant. I've spoken to her about it and she said she would be. She'd sleep a lot more, she'd take naps during the day, which I must have been out at school and never really paid attention to. And yeah, my energy levels, where I'm normally like up here, they're probably down here at the moment, you know. I don't really get much done on an average day, but yeah, that's the only thing that's been a surprise. Everything else has pretty much been as I expected. And the pregnancy in general is probably the smoothest it could possibly be. There's, you know, touch wood, there's been no complications, no problems at all. So yeah, I couldn't really have asked for a better pregnancy. Those of you who follow my Instagram will see that I do go for the occasional run while I'm still this big. Hoping to run up until the end. I mean, there's no reason not to. It's good for cardio, which then helps in the labour. And yeah, a lot of you guys have kind of commended me for it and been curious what running when pregnant is like. Everything's quite compacted, if that makes sense. It's not like there's a loose baby jiggling about in here. Everything's tight and where it should be. So it doesn't really feel that different to running normally. If anything, I'm running better because I'm running slower, I'm paying attention to my form, I'm breathing properly, I'm really focusing on deep belly breathing, and if I get a stitch, I'm breathing through that. So yeah, running when pregnant, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I expected. Do I feel ready for the last 10 weeks, 9 weeks, as I get huge and uncomfortable? Very specific wording there, I love it. Yeah, I feel ready. I mean, I'm really gonna get bigger. There's some quite common pregnancy complaints that I've heard of, like pelvic girdle pain and stuff. I don't even know what that is, so I'm not in any pain anywhere, really. Yeah, bring it on. And do I feel ready for the birth? I mean, yes and no. I'm not anxious about it, I'm not nervous about it. It's natural. The NHS are amazing. If anything goes wrong, I'm sure they'll cut the baby out and it will all be fine. So no, I'm not really worried about it. My best friend said that as the baby was getting bigger, then she started to worry because it's like, oh my god, how am I going to get this thing out of me? But yeah, again, with my mum and growing up with it, she had a couple of pretty scary births, and even that doesn't really put me off. I've just started reading a book called The Secret Midwife, and I'm not even 100 pages in and it's already made me cry twice. But the birth doesn't faze me. I think if I was scared of childbirth, I probably wouldn't have become a surrogate. Someone asked on a couple of my videos if I'm getting more wind and gas at the moment. I mean, I am burping a little bit more than usual, and at times that I wouldn't normally. So when I go to bed at night, I've normally not eaten for 4, 5, 6 hours usually because I eat my dinner quite early. And as I lay down, obviously everything's getting crushed, and I do find I burp quite a few times then, which is definitely pregnancy related, but yeah, it's no great shakes. And the other end, I mean, I'd say no more than usual. What have I loved the most about being pregnant? In general, I would have to just say the whole experience, because I wouldn't have experienced pregnancy at all otherwise, because I don't want my own children. Just everything about it fascinates me from like a scientific perspective, and being able to feel the baby kick and the changes that my body's gone through, and then postnatal, how I'm going to try and get my pre-pregnancy body back and stuff. I just find the whole process really, really interesting. So that's probably what I've loved most, just learning. Someone asked, is it hard carrying a child that isn't mine? Personally, absolutely not. I've entered this arrangement knowing the child's not mine, growing up with my mum as a surrogate, and knowing that all of those children weren't my siblings. I think I'm very lucky that I'm really switched on in that sense, and every time the baby kicks, I think, oh, the baby's kicking, or I'll send the mum a video of the kicking, and you know, there is a definite detachment in your head that you need to have absolutely set throughout the entire pregnancy. Because 9 months with a kid is quite a long time. So no, it doesn't worry me at all. Another one about the baby kicks. People love baby kicks. It's brilliant. They are absolutely fascinating, especially now he's getting bigger. The knees and the elbows are starting to come across, which are really hard to get on film, but they feel really, really strange. It does feel like an alien trying to break out of my belly. But the question is, how did I feel the first time I felt the baby moving? It was really, really cool actually. I was only 16 weeks, so it's quite early to feel a baby starting to move, especially in a first pregnancy. But I think I'm very attuned to those kind of things, and I'd done some research into what they feel like and stuff. And where I live, there's a level crossing barrier for the trains. And just as I was walking across, I'd finished work one afternoon or something, right in the centre, very low down, I felt a very distinct rolling movement. So some early baby movements can feel like popping or even like wind, but this was a really distinct sort of turning. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. And I rang my mum and I was like, did I actually just feel that, or am I going crazy? She was like, no, probably. So I rang the baby's mum and I was like, I just felt your baby moving. It was so exciting. It was unbelievable even though you've seen the baby on scans, I think I'd had 3 scans by that point, there's still something really cool about actually feeling them move, because it's like, whoa, I created life. Now I've got quite a few questions from the same person, because she is thinking of becoming a surrogate herself, so I will briefly answer these. Some of them I'm going to link to other videos where I've gone into more detail, and overall I am going to do a video. He's moving about loads, this warm cup of tea is getting him going. Where was I? Right, I am going to be doing a video focused solely on potential surrogates, women that might be sat out there watching this video thinking, yeah, I could do that, but they're still kind of on the fence. I'm basically going to do a recruitment video, because there are always tons of intended parents on the waiting lists and not as many surrogates. So I really do want to do sort of a promo video for surrogacy, which once that does come out, I'll pop a link up above as well. So how was the process of meeting the IPs? It was really quick and really smooth and really easy. The agency that we went through, Cox Childlessness Overcome Through Surrogacy, matches for you, and I read through their application, chose them, we had a chat on the phone, we met up in person, and I decided on the day, because yeah, you just know when you click with someone, that's it. So obviously not every arrangement goes that quickly, but for us it just sort of, yeah, fell into place really fast. I have also done a video, yeah, I did a meeting the parents video, I'll link that. Baby brain is shocking today. Okay, what sort of expenses have I claimed? I've also done an expenses video. I don't want this whole video just to be me linking, but I go into a lot more detail in those and I don't want to have to sort of repeat myself. So the expenses in the UK vary between £10,000 and £15,000 for the entire pregnancy. Personally, I'm getting 12, and this covers absolutely everything you could think of. It ensures that I'm eating a healthy diet throughout the pregnancy, all the clothes that I'm wearing. I'm fully in maternity clothes right now. I'm not wearing any of my pre-pregnancy clothes. I don't fit. It covers absolutely everything you could possibly think of. The surrogate should never be out of pocket. Okay, and have me and the IPs talked about whether I'll express milk for the baby? That's a yes, assuming I can. I mean, not everyone has perfect milk supply, but hopefully, as long as I can express milk, I would like to do that for a good few weeks at least, just to get that first bit of colostrum, to get the really good antibodies for the baby, and yeah, to sort of give him the best start in life. Is the relationship with the IPs how I envisaged? I don't like that word, envisaged it. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I wanted to be quite close to the people that I'm having a baby for. I don't think I could do one of these arrangements where the couple are abroad or you have very minimal contact. I don't think I'd really like that because I'm growing a life. It's proper exciting. I want to share those moments with the couple. I want them to be as involved with the pregnancy as they possibly can be. So yeah, it is very much how I imagined. And last of all, very common question, would I consider being a surrogate again? You'll have to wait until I've given birth. I mean, I could be an absolute wimp in childbirth and hate every moment of it and never want to do it again, in which case I probably won't do surrogacy again. There's no way of knowing. I mean, they say you forget how painful childbirth is. That's one of the amazing things about being a woman. I don't know if I could forget that kind of pain. So we'll see how that goes. And they also asked if the IPs asked me again. Again, it totally depends. You know, they might be quite happy with an only child. They might want a sibling in a few years' time. We've just got to play it by ear. There's no way to plan for these things. But right now, I'm leaning on the side of yes, I probably will do surrogacy again, just because the pregnancy has been so smooth. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I know that a lot of surrogates get addicted to surrogacy, so I wouldn't be surprised if I do end up the same. So anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you do have any more questions, please leave them in the comments down below and I'll try and, get back in my weekly updates or something. Bye for now.